moving forward. 1 year later,
there's the line. He's across.
Mainers making a difference.
We did what we were supposed to do.
On Marathon Monday.
I remember every detail.
From a cruel twist of fate.
A young man who lost his legs, he tried to stand up, and I went after him.
Creating an unlikely friendship.
He's just a miracle kid.
To life-changing losses.
And even though I'm missing my leg, I could be much worse.
And how it inspired a Maine native to give back.
Isn't that amazing?
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us for our Mainers Making a Difference Marathon Monday special here on CBS 13. Coming to you live from Boston, I'm Adrienne Stein.
And I'm Marissa Bodner. Over the next half hour, CBS 13 will take an in-depth look at how those affected by the terrorist attacks are moving forward with their lives. Tonight we begin with a Mainer who was at the finish line when those bombs went off.
Karen Rand lost her leg and a dear friend when those explosions went off. But now, after a chance encounter, she's turning tragedy into a way to make a difference.
We've had some fun, definitely.
Yeah. Karen Rand McWaters' pictures tell the story of an extraordinary year.
Look at with the President of the United States. I was so bloated because
she met President Obama.
I said, well, the president would not be coming to see me, so you have me mixed up with someone else. And then the next thought was, oh my God, I am a mess.
She threw out the first pitch at a Major League Baseball game.
I didn't even want to do it. They made me.
And married her love, Kevin McWaters.
This is us when we got married.
But she says it was an ordinary moment shopping for these bar stools that was the biggest moment of her year.
The owner, Mauricio, who waited on us, was a wonderful, kind man, but he was a little bit emotional while he was waiting on us. And we kept thinking it was because, he could see my prosthetic and he realized that I was from the Boston Marathon tragedy.
Instead, he told them about 13-year-old Estefania, a family friend whose leg was just severed during a drag race in El Salvador.
She was lying just there waiting for help, and it wasn't coming.
Yeah.
It wasn't coming, and it just, the good Lord put her in our path.
There was an instant connection.
Kevin said, we're not walking away from this.
We had to help her because all the help that Karen got.
The couple reached out to the doctors and medical folks who had helped Karen in her recovery. They all agreed to help Estefania.
I love that picture.
It was a lot of work, but the couple got her to Boston.
All pink. She wanted everything pink.
She's already fitted with a new prosthetic and scheduled for a second surgery this month.
It was such an amazing thing to even think I could do it. I never realized I could even do something like that.
One thing she won't do, go back to the marathon.
And it shouldn't be about people there that cry and feel sad. And that's what I'm afraid I might do. So I'll stay home and cry. And I'll wait for him to come home.
Kevin plans to finish the run he started last year.
I can't let these guys, bad guys, win. So I have to go back and finish.
The anniversary will be bittersweet, remembering her friend Crystal Campbell, who died.
The part that's hard, and it will always be hard, is Crystal.
But she's focusing on all the good.
I don't look at my life oh gee, this terrible thing happened to me, it's over. I look at it like this terrible thing happened to me to remind me how very, very fortunate I am.
Fortunate indeed, and she plans on capturing many more extraordinary moments to come. And Karen said she needed a lot of blood during her recovery, so she's found a way to give back closer to home, too. She's taking part in the Find Your Strong 5K at the Back Cove in Portland on April 30th. She'll also help out with a blood drive benefiting the American Red Cross set for May 3rd.
And her husband, Kevin McWaters, he finished in 5 hours, 14 minutes. Big congratulations to him.
Absolutely.
And in another emotional journey, a Falmouth woman, she was injured in the bombings. She says this experience has brought her even closer to her family.
That's right. As CBS 13's Kim Block shows us, that was more than evident today when her sister ran the marathon in her honor.
They were always close, but these two sisters from Falmouth are even closer after this. Sarah Gerard, a college student in Boston, was watching near the finish line of the marathon. Shrapnel from the explosion shattered her eardrums, burned her hair, and wounded her leg.
Just kind of realized my leg was bleeding from there, and luckily a lot of people kind of rushed and started helping that I didn't know, and then I was quickly brought to the marathon tent where they had kind of triage starting.
It was the first of many acts of kindness that would take Sarah on the long journey of emotional and physical recovery. Now, a year later, she's had plenty of time to reflect on that.
I think the whole thing, it just really caused people to connect and kind of show kindness where it might not otherwise be there.
Her entire family has felt it, from friends and neighbors stopping by their Falmouth home to a former marathoner who gave Sarah one of his medals.
I mean, the Boston Marathon is a huge achievement to begin with, and I don't know if I would personally be giving out medals that takes so much work to get at that. But it was really nice to kind of have that support behind me.
Perhaps one of the biggest gestures of kindness, an all-expense-paid trip to France offered by Vantage Travel of Boston to survivors and first responders, a chance to spend quality time together out of the spotlight of Boston itself.
It's just their way of kind of extending their kindness to everybody, and offered the trip to those affected, injured, those that helped first responders. I met a really close friend now that was a fire chief that he just helped. The whole day, obviously, was orchestrated by him.
Sarah, who took her mother on the trip, says she also got a chance to meet the man who helped her right after the explosion.
He was the guy who helped elevate my leg and bring me into a wheelchair, essentially, and I think it was nice because we both kind of just had a moment and was like, okay, great, like, thank you. And he's like, yeah, no, it's great to finally put a name to a face. And that was it. It didn't have to be anything bigger than that, so it was nice.
As a tribute to all the survivors, the Boston Athletic Association offered 2 invitational entries to each family. Sarah asked her sister to run.
Obviously, a chance to run the Boston Marathon and a chance to run it this year. You know, it didn't take long for me to say yes. I'm just so excited to be a part of this and to run for Sarah and for, you know, all those that were affected, you know, whether mentally, physically, family or friends.
And Sarah will be at the finish line again this year with a newfound perspective on the fragility of life and the strength that arises from it.
I've kind of made a vow to myself that at some point on that day I'm going to go stand where I was and just kind of, all right, a year's passed. I've been here, I've kind of succeeded, and I'm back to where I was before, and then hopefully watch you cross.
Boston strong. In Falmouth, Kim Block, CBS 13 News.
So great to see Sarah Gerard is feeling better, doing better. Her sister finished in just under 5 hours.
Very impressive there. Speaking of impressive, last year 2 men went to the marathon as supportive spectators, but they left as heroes.
John Mixon of Ogunquit and Carlos Arredondo, known to many as the hero in the hat. They tore down barricades to help save lives that day. I talked to them last year, just after the bombings. I caught up with them again just about a month ago to hear how they've found blessings and inspiration in a horrific aftermath.
So it ended up being like this.
Everywhere you look, there are reminders in Carlos Arredondo's home. Newspaper clippings, notes, and of course, that iconic photo.
In a situation like that, you know, was a lot of people, you know, who just jump into action and make things happen for others, and that was the beauty about the whole thing there.
Beauty and bravery on one of Boston's darkest days. Arredondo was at the finish line of the marathon with his friend John Mixon.
I remember every detail. There's nothing really that I can't remember about that.
They were supporting marathoners who ran in honor of Maine's fallen soldiers. Arredondo's son is one of the fallen. He was handing out hundreds of American flags.
I was holding my last flag in the street level trying to catch a moment, a picture where a National Guard is. I give him the last flag, and that moment never happened.
The Costa Rican native held on to that flag as he and Mixon tore down a barricade to get to injured spectators. That's when Arredondo found Jeff Bowman on the ground without his legs. He held the young man's artery until reaching an ambulance.
He's just a miracle kid.
Now Bowman is back on his feet, and the two have formed a unique bond. They've been to ball games, the White House, even Costa Rica to meet Arredondo's family.
It's absolutely unbelievable. It's almost like God sent. It's like, you know, I don't know, I hate to say it, but it almost seems like he's got his son back now, because that bond between Carlos and Jeff is so strong and so special. It's not something that you really see every day.
Through it all, they've seen blessings big and small.
The last one out of 400 flags, and hopefully go to the right place.
The pair say it's important they be standing right here at the finish line this Marathon Monday, not only to support those affected last year, but also to send a message that the tragedy has only made this event and this city that much stronger.
The strength of Boston, you know, to now come back and say, you know, you terrorists, you know, you're not stopping our marathon. We're having a bigger, better marathon this year, and you didn't do anything to impact that.
They have no doubt that message will be loud and clear. And 12 people did run today for Maine's fallen soldiers. 2 of them actually ran for Arredondo's son, Alex.
Very nice to hear. There is still so much more to come on our CBS 13 News special, Mainers Making a Difference. Here's a look at what's coming up next.
Lives saved inside a Maine man's Boston store.
And it was basically kind of a hazmat area.
How this Hallowell native's running shop became a triage for the injured.
A lot of the apparel was used for tourniquets.
The instrumental role they played in making a difference.
Good evening. We are coming to you live from Boston tonight. I'm Adrienne Stein.
And I'm Marissa Bodner. The owner of Marathon Sports on Boylston Street says Marathon Monday 2013 started like every other year as a celebration.
That is until tragedy struck just feet from his storefront. Colin Petty is a Hallowell, Maine native who owned Marathon Sports since 1992.
He talked with our Catherine Underwood about the chaos that ensued inside his store when those bombs went off at the finish line.
Here we are walking along Boylston Street, just feet away from the marathon finish line, and actually in about the exact spot where the bombs exploded. All of the 10 employees at Marathon Sports were okay, but the store turned into a triage for victims.
It was basically kind of a hazmat area.
Colin Petty says lives were saved inside his store on Marathon Monday 2013.
I think there's probably not a day that goes by where the company and the staff doesn't think about what happened that day.
His employees became first responders.
A lot of the apparel was used for tourniquets.
As they rushed to help the victims.
They did what comes naturally. They helped people.
The Marathon Sports Finish Line store opened in 2001.
I drove down this Boylston Street probably twice a week for 7 years before the opportunity came up.
Petty had to rebuild in 2013.
We had to replace quite a bit of the store.
But the rebuilding went far beyond these windows.
I've seen a different side of the city that I'd normally see.
Petty says he saw kindness and strength and even experienced incredible moments of joy.
This is the Boston Strong jersey.
It was Petty and his staff who accepted this Boston Strong jersey at the end of the Red Sox rolling rally.
It was just surreal. The confetti coming down, it was just crazy.
Employees at Marathon Sports have spent months training runners for this year's 26.2.
For us to be involved at that level is in many ways kind of a mental healing, so to speak.
But Petty says there was no way to prepare emotionally for Marathon Monday 2014.
We're a little bit confused on whether it's a moment of celebration or it's a moment of recovery, a moment of reflection, being thankful for all that we have.
In Boston, Catherine Underwood, CBS 13 News.
Next, Mainers far from the chaos.
We all wanted to go there and help.
Feeling helpless.
We couldn't get there because all the traffic was blocked.
A Yarmouth running group returns to their post at mile 14.
Very
thankful to be a part of it.
The way they're making a difference and easing the pain for runners along the race route.
Everyone's here for each other.
Good evening. We are coming to you live from Boston for our Mainers Making a Difference Marathon Monday special. I'm Adrienne Stein.
And I'm Marissa Bodner. Many Mainers ran in the Boston Marathon today, but an entire running club from Maine made the trek down, some to run, others to volunteer, just like they did last year.
As CBS 13's Boston shows us, they're making a difference along the race route.
It's very encouraging. Everyone really makes sure that nobody gets left behind. Everyone's here for each other.
Based out of Yarmouth, the Maine Track Club Roasters are like a family that runs a lot. They were there for each other last year at the marathon, volunteering at a water station.
Our first time volunteering was at mile 14 last year, and the Boston Volunteer Group, they invited us back for another year.
And I'm very thankful to be a part of it. Thankful to be a part of it last year as well in a different capacity.
Some club runners like Susan Shepard, Kristen Senner, and Dave Edwards are running this year.
I'm not going to let something like that stop me from doing what I love.
I've wanted to run Boston since I was 12 years old, so this is actually a big deal for me.
I'm from Boston, that's my hometown, so I was very motivated to be back there running a marathon for the first time, representing the city that I love so much.
All the other roasters made the trek down to hand out water and Gatorade at mile 14 again.
We couldn't wait, and this year we have a few extras that didn't volunteer last year. We get jackets, we get pins, and we hand out water, Gatorade, and we will be waiting for all of our Maine Track Club roasters to come to mile 14.
For the runners, that emotional path to the finish line is made a little easier by some friendly faces.
It's a big boost when I see them at the water stop.
It's always emotional down there, no matter what, but this year will be special for sure.
A club still helping, even after months of training, and now the memories from a year ago replaced with better ones. In Yarmouth, Evans, Boston, CBS 13 News.
So nice to see those volunteers come back year after year. But for some runners, today was their chance to finally finish.
Yeah, last year when the bombs went off, there were 5,000 runners who had not crossed the finish line on Boylston Street. They came from all 50 states and 47 countries. Well, this year, the Boston Athletic Association invited them back because crossing that line is such a big part of the experience.
And Mainers like Dave Holman spent the past few months training all over again. The North Yarmouth man was running Boston for the first time last year. He was stopped less than a mile from the finish line. But good news to report, Dave did get to finish this year just over 4 hours. So must have been a great day for him.
And a very impressive finish for
Absolutely.
sure. We still have a lot more to come on our CBS 13 Mainers Making a Difference Marathon Monday special. Here's a look at what's coming up next.
A simple idea from a Mainer
This one up top is the original.
fuels a now iconic phrase,
Boston Strong.
uniting a resilient city.
The milestone the Boston Strong campaign is reaching.
That's amazing to me. It's kind of unreal. It's something that we could never have dreamed of.
How it's making a huge difference for victims. Welcome back to our Mainers Making a Difference Marathon Monday special, coming to you live from Boston. I'm Adrienne Stein.
And I'm Marissa Bodner. Just hours after the bombs exploded, a Gorham native came up with an idea to help some of the victims.
That's right. Boston Strong actually started as a modest fundraising idea, but it really became a widely used motto embraced by the entire city.
CBS 13's Catherine Underwood has the story behind the phrase Boston Strong.
A couple of Emerson College students feeling helpless, stuck inside their dorm rooms here on Marathon Monday 2013. So they decided to do something. They pulled out their laptops and they got to work.
This one up top is the original.
A simple blue t-shirt with 2 words written in gold.
And we hoped that we would sell 110 of them.
An online fundraiser to pass the time and to help them cope.
There was nothing to do in that moment besides wait for answers.
Nick Reynolds thought it was a good idea.
It makes it something like a public show of support. You know, you can wear your cause on your sleeve, sort of thing.
And tens of thousands of people agreed.
Something that we could never have dreamed of.
They sold more than 37,000 Boston Strong t-shirts in that first week and recently surpassed $1 million raised for victims of the marathon bombings.
And you see it often. You see it every day. You see it in the gym. You see it, you know, on your way to work. And it's you know, it does your heart good to see people still wearing the t-shirt.
The Gorham, Maine native can't believe how one simple idea has taken off.
I can't conceptualize what 65,000 t-shirts looks like.
It looks like this. Video from inside the Wisconsin-based printing company Ink to the People.
They were manufacturing for 24 hours a day to deal with the amazing demand.
The demand was so great in those first few months that by June, Reynolds and his business partner Chris Dobbins presented a check to the One Fund for $894,000.
It's been amazing to see the city of Boston rally around the idea of Boston Strong and really take it to heart.
The short phrase quickly became a city motto, especially as the Red Sox captured the 2013 World Championship.
I've been a Red Sox fan my whole life, and I can't picture a World Series that means more to me than hearing, you know, report after report of, you know, the Red Sox being Boston Strong. That's amazing to me. It's kind of unreal.
A simple blue t-shirt, proving dreams can never be too big.
I do feel like the city has come together around this tragedy and sort of become a better version of Boston than we had before.
And two words written in gold, empowering an entire city.
Things feel more possible.
There's no trademark on the Boston Strong logo, so you can find these t-shirts almost anywhere. The only way to make sure that some of your money goes toward the One Fund is to buy your t-shirt through Reynolds' website. In Boston, Catherine Underwood, CBS 13 News.
And Reynolds says he was fully expecting to see a huge turnout of runners wearing his Boston Strong shirts. That was certainly the case today, and not just runners, spectators, everyone. There were flags, bandanas, all kinds of things with that message.
And not even on just the people, it's on the buildings as well, banners everywhere. Certainly people have embraced it.
Yeah, great message there. And for more information on these stories or the people involved, you can head to our website, WGME.com.
In the meantime, thank you so much for joining us for the CBS 13 News special presentation, Mainers Making a Difference Marathon Monday. Have a great night.